Hey guys, on this week's Journo Insight show with Neil Jones, we had an exclusive bit of information about Divock Origi's contract. Neil goes in depth about the clauses and everything that's going on with Origi's future. As well as that, we spoke about Joe Gomez and Sepp Berg. So check this out. Is there a chance Liverpool will activate this clause that he's got to keep him around? Because as it stands, he's out of contract in the summer, but he can keep him for another year.
Yeah, no, well, it depends on appearances. It's
got to give him games
not,
and stuff.
Yeah, it's not Liverpool's decision, if you like.
Okay.
It's got to hit. I don't actually know what the trigger point is. You can tell me how many he's played this season if you got the chance.
You keep talking, I'll get that.
Yeah, but that depends on that. So he'd have to play. I'd have to be available and playing games. I wouldn't be surprised if he did, but
he's played 10. He's made 10 appearances so far.
Yeah, so I wouldn't be surprised if it was sort of 20. It's usually 20, 25. I would suggest.
He'll get them if he's fit.
You'd think so, even if sub appearances and that kind of thing. But yeah,
that's why he plays against AC Milan. That's why they keep getting him on. They get some more games,
especially if they're going through in the cup as well. So you've got more opportunities. But he's out of contract as it stands. But Liverpool have an option based on appearances, and I think Origi would sign it and maybe do the extra year, but we'll see what kind of offers come in.
I was about to say, like, it doesn't feel like one of those to me where he would have to be the clause. Like, I wouldn't be shocked if he just give him a new contract and he signed it. He seems like a really happy fella. Like he's got like, he doesn't feel like he wants. There's no move. Like,
no, you never hear. Nat Phillips, in fairness to Nat, has been speaking to Sky and things like that and saying, I'd like to play football, and there's nothing wrong with that. Yeah. Absolutely fair enough. I think, but you don't really see that with Divock Origi. Origi wants out of Liverpool, or he's
like we heard Danny Ings wanted to go.
Desperate to play. It's little whispers, Joe Gomez, and that kind of thing where. There was Jordan Henderson in the summer about new contracts. There was, reports being put in about he's gonna, he's attracting interest from Atletico Madrid and Paris Saint-Germain. So, it's not uncommon for players to do that, but you don't really get that with Origi. You almost get, he's want him, but he's not into it. Like, he's not he's happy doing this, and I still think he's a valuable player, valuable squad member, obviously very popular, but I don't know, can you keep sort of going every summer and saying, how many more years can you get out of Divock Origi as, 15 games a season? And, as much as I like him, and so many fans will love him, and rightly so, I think he's got one Premier League goal in a season and a half.
I can tell you that as well.
I think he scored in the last game of the season when they won the league at Newcastle, and I think he only got one.
Yeah, so he got
one against Lincoln last season in the Cup, and then the only one he's got since is Wolves. Oh no, he's got two. Sorry, West Ham.
Got two this season.
West Ham, and Wolves. Yeah, so two Premier League goals in a season and a half. It's not the biggest currency in the world.
No, you're right there. You mentioned the Gomez stuff, and I found that interesting. I think I saw it from the Mirror. It was like Aston Villa were asking about him, what Liverpool would have.
Yeah, Real Madrid obviously were linked. I think there was an Arsenal link somewhere in there as well.
He's only such a young kid, and this was the thing with Joe Gomez is now, as it stands, he's fourth choice centre back. I think that's fair to say in the pecking order. Like, I threw a fairy out the other day. Like, Liverpool could, if they were skint and needed money for transfers, you could sell Joe Gomez and keep Nat Phillips, because that makes sense. Like, where are we with Joe Gomez? Because, like you said, these whispers, like you said, there are at least whispers out there.
Yeah, there's whispers, but I think he's just waiting for his chance. I mean,
he's 24 again. He's a kid.
He's 24. There's rumours about Nico Williams, so that obviously puts him into a position where
gonna be right back.
Oh yeah, not ideally, but he could be filling in even sub games at right back. He's had a difficult start to the season. I think it's fair to say. I don't think he's had the easiest games. Leicester being one. I think of Milan. I think it was Milan at home early in the season where they let a couple in. Yeah. So he's got to be patient. He'll know that he's not soft. I think he'll probably be thinking, of all the luck, Joel Matip just doesn't get injured for a whole season.
And turns into one of the best centre
forwards in the world. Just as I'm sort of dying for in a normal season rhythm, Joe Gomez would probably have had a 10-game run in the team by this point, because Joel Matip would have been injured, and Dejan Lovren, back in the day. So it just hasn't worked out that way. Matip and Van Dijk have been the preferred partnership. Obviously, Konate's being eased in, and I think he's looking pretty good. I know there's again, he's had a few difficult moments, but I think Konate looks like he's going to be a more than useful player for Liverpool. So I think it's just a case of being patient. It might be difficult for him. World Cup year, England, and he's missed out on a lot of things. Really, if you think back of the injury, he's missed out on the last World Cup because he got he got injured ankle ligaments playing for England. Then he missed out.
Training for England.
Euros, obviously, last summer. He missed out on the Champions League final. No, he came on the Champions League. He missed out the year before in the Champions League final. He's had, broken leg, which missed half the season down at Burnley. So he's had a lot of injuries, a bit like Paul Glatzel, like more injuries than his age, if you like. But I still think he's got a big future at Liverpool personally, and I think it'd be very wise for Liverpool to.
Yeah. I'm just thinking more from his point of view.
Yeah,
really.
Possibly, but very, very. Got a great attitude, Joe Gomez. Spoke to him at Norwich early in the season in the Carabao Cup. Spoke to him a couple of seasons ago and asked him about it. What he'd said, he was talking about how he reads a lot of self-help and he works on his mindset and looks into other athletes. People like I think Anthony Joshua was one, and a lot of basketball players. And he was saying his big thing is appreciating what he's got rather than sort of pushing for more and more and more. It's being blessed. And I asked him at Norwich actually about it. I said, since then you've had another bad injury, and he's like, yeah. He said, if anything, it's not changed anything about my mindset. It's really focused me, that I could handle the injury because I was happy with my life, and I think that says a lot about Liverpool and what they've got with him. So I don't expect to see Joe Gomez banging down the door of Jurgen Klopp saying, "Who's this Canate? Why am I getting a game?" And again, I've said it a few times on the show. I think there'll be at some point in the next few months where he's in the team, and then he's got his chance to stay in there.
So he's played 11 games this season, with 7 of those have been off the bench, or 4 starts. I think it's 3 in the League Cup and 1 in that AC Milan game.
So he's not started a league game this season, which I think that it won't stay that way. I'm pretty sure he'll be in the league team at some point.
But yeah, it's the thing, like in the League Cup is always, I always feel with players like he gets them to the semi-final and then he's out again. Yeah. And there's very little chance he plays against Arsenal. Like it's almost
and he would have probably.
But he might play against Cardiff.
Shrewsbury would have been his game, but obviously that works out with all the COVID cases with the Arsenal game, and so there's a problem with that. So
Cardiff, you're looking at, aren't we?
Cardiff, I think, would be an ideal one for him, definitely.
Yeah, I think you're right there. Next question, and speaking of centre halves, then Henry 555. You referenced Sepp van den Berg earlier. He's actually alone. That's doing well.
He's right wing back.
Right wing back. Right winger now. Yeah, whatever.
Yeah.
He's one of the things where alone works, and it's going really well for him at Preston. Like, do you know what the plans are for next year? Because you talk about bringing Reece Williams back and what the future holds. Like, there's a world where Sepp van den Berg's in that role as well. Yeah,
well, I mean, you think about Sepp van den Berg, he had not every right, but we had every right to think, well, he would have been the cab off the rank last season when everything went wrong. I mean, I actually wrote a piece, and I think it was in January before he went to Preston, sort of saying, well, hang on, Liverpool have got a player here with top flight European football experience, who's not even getting on the bench when it was Henderson, Fabinho and that kind of thing. It says a lot about how difficult he found probably the first 2 seasons or first 18 months of his time at Liverpool. I think he came in and was a way off the level physically. But you look at Preston, I mean, Preston had a great comeback last night. They were down to 10 men. He played that game. They were 2-0 down to 10 men and come back and forth, back to 2-2. He's playing pretty much every game. He must be up close to 50 games now in the Championship last season and this, if not more. So that's a great sort of foundation for him, wherever he's going to end up. Obviously, the caveat to that is he's doing it as a sort of right wing back in a 3-5-2, as opposed to where I think he would like to play. And I interviewed him obviously before Liverpool played Preston in the League Cup. And he was saying, I'm never, having to get used to running. He said, you're a centre back, you're doing 7k a game running. He said, now I'm doing 11.5k. So, but the flip side of that is, doesn't that sort of add something to what he's got to offer? He's got that experience. I think he'll get a pre-season with Liverpool. I'll be surprised if he doesn't get a good look in pre-season, go on the tour or the training camp, whatever they do in the summer. And we'll see where he goes from there. But he's like you said, the loan's done him no harm at all. The 2 loans really, the last season and this. He's given himself a chance of a career. He's still 19, is he still?
20, just turned
20. Yeah. So I mean, he's still very young, and that's what I think he had about 20 odd games for swallow. Yeah. So he must be 70, 75 games in his career.
He's played 45 for Preston, like you said before, but like 22 as a right back, 7 as a right wing back type thing. So like, he's played more there. He's played more of a right-sided player than a centre half. But like I say, that did Joe Gomez no harm. Just getting football in his legs.
Yeah, exactly that. And I can remember John Stones playing as a right back for Everton. I can remember, I'm old enough to remember Rio Ferdinand playing as a sort of right back, sort of very early in his career. So I don't think it'll hold him back. It might not sort of be enough to get him into Liverpool's plans. You know, you've got to question whether you'll ever be able to do that. But at the same time, it'll give him a good chance of getting maybe a good loan next season, maybe a Premier League or an upper Championship loan, or maybe a good move permanently. But yeah, I think that's one of those that the environment's been perfect, and he's got a good manager there in Ryan Lowe, good scouser now as his boss. So he's in the team, and good on him.
We interviewed Ryan Lowe last summer, I think, for Lowe Watch when he was at Plymouth.
Played up front with him in a Vets game, me and Lowe. Yeah.
How'd you get on?
Where we both scored, put it that way. We both scored. I think his was a more natural finish than mine. But
It's in the old county. And he basically said, we've got a rule here of no dickheads. Yeah. That was his rule at Plymouth, and I imagine he'll have took that to Preston with him as well.
Good guy, Sepp. I know a few of the lads at Preston say he's one of them. You know, he's not a Liverpool lad on loan and don't talk to me type of thing. He mucks in, and he's got a very Dutch way about him where quite direct and to the point, and sort of says, you know, you'll know what he's thinking, and I think goes down.
He looked like he'd filled out when we saw him in that game. When I first seen him play, I think it was an Arsenal game, was it, in the League Cup?
5-0.
And he looks like a rake. Yeah. And at least you can tell like he's starting to fill out.
Yeah, I mean, it's natural, isn't it? It's 20. Actually, you know, he signed to Liverpool at 17, 18 when he comes with experience, and I don't think Liverpool did him any favours really. Liverpool sort of put it out there, and people at Liverpool said, he's similar to Joe Gomez when he signed from Charlton in that case. And so Joe Gomez went straight into the Liverpool team. And so when Sepp Berg doesn't, you're thinking, well, what's up? But he's 17 and 18 and having to develop. It took him a while. He had a tough first season. You know, he played Villa game, didn't he, when they were all in Qatar. But then if you think back, he had that Shrewsbury game where him and Keanu Hoover played centre half at Anfield and played really well.
He did,
probably the best game I've seen him have actually still. So he's obviously got something. He's played, Dutch youth level, under 19, under 20. I think he's played now. So he's there's something to work with him. I'm not sure he'll be a Liverpool first teamer in the future, but he might be an asset, to loan, sell, and just see how he develops.
He's played 2 games to the under 21 to Holland.
Well, there you go. Yeah, I mean, he's not, he's no mug, put it that way.
Hey guys, I hope you enjoyed that clip. If you want to watch the entire episode of Journo Insight with Neil Jones, head on over to theredmentv.com and join Redmen Plus. We are streaming that show each and every week live for you, where we can get tons of information from Neil about everything that's happening at Liverpool Football Club. So go over to redmentv.com, join Redmen Plus and check it out.
Hey, if you want to get your name here and be a club legend like so many have so far, join up to Redmen Plus. You get an incredible range of Liverpool content, our Netflix for Liverpool fans style services there for you, documentaries, features, interviews, and yes, we also have the club legend here. So if you want to go a bit deeper, get a deeper connection with us and with Liverpool Football Club as well, then sign up to theredmentv.com, Redmen Plus at a club legend tier, and there's loads of extra bonus perks for you as well. Check it out.